Hello and welcome back to the SuperCoach Corner podcast for another team preview ahead of the 2026 AFL SuperCoach season. As always, joined alongside me is Das. Das, we're going to crack into Essendon today. Do you see much SuperCoach relevance here?
There's a few guys, Tyce. There's a few mid-prices I love to talk about, and then a couple on the higher end that I find are flying under the radar a little bit, and I think could have a big 2026. So, no, I think there's a few more than you sort of expect from a team like Essendon. And I'm keen to get stuck into it.
Yeah. When you say flying under the radar in terms of premiums, you mean from a SuperCoach level? I know who you're talking about, and one is definitely in the media.
Yes, definitely.
But we will get to him when we get to the premiums. Firstly, just going to shout out the Unlimited League and the Cash Leagues. We're going to run some Cash Leagues this year, which we'll post on our socials, so keep an eye out for that to get involved. Also a Draft League, which will be only 20, so quickly jump into those before it fills up. But the Unlimited League code is 728323. 728323, just to repeat myself. So, make sure you jump into that. Show us what you got. Hopefully we get the winner in there. So that would be cool to see. But yeah, let's get straight into it, I guess. Essendon, they've got the round 15 bye, only the one bye, so they don't have the early one like the other 10 teams that are playing round 0. So that's a massive positive with Essendon. But yeah, let's get straight stuck into the rookies. First on the list in defence is Jacob Farrow. There's a bit of talk about this guy. He went to pick 10. Essendon love him. He apparently is one of the best ball users in the AFL already, according to reports. So there's that's kind of what they've been screaming for off halfback. Do you see Jacob Farrow starting in this side?
From all reports, it seems like he will be. Like I've been looking at a lot of predicted best 23s for a lot of the sides, and he seems to be in a majority of them. It looks like he's training the house down, and it's really made a good first impression down at the Dons. So, it's one to keep an eye on. He's a bit of, because of that high draft pick from last year, top 10 pick, he is at that little bit of elevated price at 167k, but has got defensive mid DBP as well. So that's really, really handy for your starting rookies. So someone that, I'm really got my eye on. I think it's a really good role as well. That halfback ball distributor. He's got a big body. He's sort of almost ready for AFL already. So, one that I'm definitely keen on.
Yeah, I definitely am too. I'm waiting to see if he starts. It's like, because you want to be picking the halfback role. That's where the points are for SuperCoach, especially the rookies. So that's where they can generate a lot of cash. We just need to see how he goes in the practice games. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on him. Apparently his left foot is just insane. So
like yours,
next. No, not quite. The next rookie on the Essendon list is Nick Cox. He's been around for a while now. Das knows my views on this guy, and I think you are similar. But he's comes in at a cheap price. Can we afford to pick him and start him in SuperCoach?
No, I can't do it. He'll get concussed from taking a mark like he did last time he played AFL. So it's a no for me. 134k. It's a nice price, but I'd have to. He's one that if he plays 2 good games to start the year, you can pick him up before he goes up. But I wouldn't be starting him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I do agree with that. If he's just going to run on that wing, 134k, it could be good buying, but there's probably better options that you could go for. Next on this list, however, is someone a lot of teams are looking at. He's in 63% of teams at the moment, is Dyson Sharp. Just under 150k, another one of their top picks. He slid a little bit from a lot of draft reports, and is a nice pickup for Essendon. Everyone's looking at him. It looks like he might be ready to go straight away. Is he an easy pick at the moment?
He could be if he's straight into that midfield rotation. It's sort of a no-brainer. At just under 150k, it's whether does he jump someone like Elijah Sardis? Like that's probably who he's going head to head with. if he's already overtaken someone like him, then yeah, I think he'd be straight into our sides. But if he's sort of, head to head with him, if he's getting edged out by Will Satterfield or something like that, then you don't really want to be picking him if his job security is not there or if he's playing half forward. But he's a big bodied inside mid, has played a lot of senior footy in SA already. So from all reports, he was one of the most AFL ready coming out of that draft class last year. So yeah, if he's getting a game round one that I think is a pretty safe start.
Yeah, yeah, and he's definitely got the accolades going for him as well. He's two-time under-16 All-Australian and then was named as the skipper of the under-18 version last year. So MVP, championship best and fairest. He's got all the accolades coming up through South Australia. So yeah, he's definitely highly touted and could be one that Essendon blood early and give him good midfield minutes. So definitely keep an eye on him, and he should be, like 63% owned is probably enough to show that he has the talent, and a lot of people are looking at him. So definitely keep Dyson Sharp on your radar. Next, we'll go to the forward line. We'll go with Sullivan Roby. He was a massive bolter last year. Apparently just grew in size just out of nowhere when he turned 18 or 17 to 18. So is he one that's probably going to get games for Essendon early? I don't know. There was a lot of talk about him going into the draft. Do you like what you see from Sullivan Roby? He's a mid forward at 167k.
Yeah, I can't really pick him at that price. I think you're playing mostly forward is still a bit of a slight frame. So for more reports, he'll have a big career in the AFL, but I don't think he'll really hit the ground running as someone like a Dyson Sharp might. So I'd be pretty happy to let that one through to the keeper.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I'm probably more keen on Sullivan Roby with all the hype around him going into the draft. Apparently Richmond were looking at him, and I would have been very happy with that. But yeah, we ended up picking two other guys. But yeah, Sullivan Roby's looking pretty good. He's he definitely grew. I think people are saying he's nearly close to 2 meters. I don't have his height here, but definitely one to keep an eye on, see if he plays in the practice matches. But let's move into the ruck line, and it's pretty interesting to see what might happen here. They've probably got 3 guys fighting for one spot as the main ruck, and I'm almost going to say whoever is the starting ruck here, come round 1, I am starting in my side. They are all severely underpriced to be a starting ruckman. We're obviously talking about Vicentini, Nick Bryan, and Lockie Blackiston. Who looks to be the number 1 guy at the moment, Das?
At training, it looks to be Blackiston at this stage. I think Nick Bryan is their best ruck. He will be their ruck for the majority of the year if he keeps his body right, but he's just still recovering from that. I think it was an Achilles injury sort of halfway through last year. So from all reports, he'll be back early in the year, the first few weeks. But I think Blackiston will start. It's probably between him and Vigo Vicentini to start the year. Like you said, both really, really good prices. Vigo Vicentini at 181k as a ruck only, and then you get Blackiston at 295. It's a little bit more elevated, but as a defender, I'm with you, Tice. I think going into round 1, unless they're both picked and they're like sort of dual sharing the ruck, I'd be a little bit scared off. But if we know that one of those guys is going to solo ruck for the first few rounds, they'll be in my side. What do you think?
Yeah, it then needs to see, like, it's kind of hard to pick it because Nick Bryan is recovering from a knee injury at the moment. He's not going to be back until the early rounds. So they haven't stated when they expect him to be back yet. But it's all from the reports. It kind of sounds like he's missing the first few rounds. So yeah, it's kind of proceed with caution because, yeah, like you said, Nick Bryan's probably the best of the lot. And once he breaks into the side at 257k for the ruck is pretty good buying. Maybe you just run whoever they start with until Nick Bryan comes in, and hopefully it's enough to generate you some cash and then sideways or go to Nick Bryan and if it's Vigo Vicentini, obviously. So, yeah, I'm very interested. If it looks like you said, Blackiston is the main guy at 295k for solo ruck. If Vicentini is not playing, I'm going to be definitely finding a way for him and my side to start the year. Would you be the same? Like, is it Blackiston solo ruck? Just pick him 300k
Yeah.
or 295k.
Yeah, I think you can sort of reevaluate at the start of the season. Like, try and gauge how far Nick Bryan is off. If he's 2 or 3 games off, then maybe you can reevaluate. Like, okay, we're only going to get maybe 1 or 2 price rises out of Blackiston before he might move to the key back or before Nick Bryan comes back in. So maybe then it's not worth it. But if, Nick Bryan's looking at a round 5, round 6, round 7 return, and you can get a few price rises and a few reliable on-field scores from Blackiston, then yeah, I'd definitely be starting him. So one that I've firmly got my eye on, sort of half hoping it is Vicentini who starts it because he's at that nicer price. It'd just be a lot easier to find a way to get him into our side. But yeah, I'd be happy with either of them.
Yeah, especially with Vicentini being a ruck and the new ruck rules not knowing how it's going to affect the rucks, I'm more inclined to picking a cheaper ruck to start the year and just sort of reevaluating before I lock in my premium second ruck. So yeah, I'm definitely want Vicentini to be the main guy, but yeah, so that's a wait and see on those guys. Let's move to the mid prices. We've already spoken about Blackiston since he is a mid pricer, but let's go to the midfield and talk about Elijah Sardis. Now, there was a lot of talk about him last year being a good starting option, but this year apparently he's just taking his game to the next level, playing that midfield role. It seems like it's just a broken record of him dominating preseason and maybe does he do enough to be good SuperCoach option for our sides? Do you like the look of Elijah Sardis, or is it just they can't go there again?
I can't do it again. Yeah, I can't do it again. I just don't think his game's translating to AFL level, unfortunately for him. His ball use is a real fault of his, and I don't know, he might have fixed it up a lot. But yeah, I can't go there again. He's out of favour at Essendon as well. Brad Scott's been known to keep him in the twos for a little bit longer than the outside world might be thinking he should be there. So yeah, 1 or 2 bad games will get dropped. He's shown a low floor as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be going there at over 200k as well. It's not for me.
Yeah, he only played the odd game here and there last year, like played first 2 and then pretty much got dropped, or got injured, and then couldn't find his way back into the side. So yeah, it's probably an easy no and miss on that one. But the one that should almost be in every side, but he's only in 37%, at least in my eyes, he should be in every side. Darcy Parish, I know he's got that many injuries, but can you not just back a guy with an injury at the start of the year so then it only costs you 1 trade if he dominates?
Yeah, and this is what you've done so well over the last few years, is exactly that. I'm with you. I think you just have to start him. He's shown that when he's on the park, he scores well. Like his game translates really well to SuperCoach. That's such a really, really cheap price at 330k for a bloke who's averaged 114 in a full season before. So we know he can do it. He's averaged over 108 3 times in his career. So at his best, he is like a top tier midfielder, and you get him at this price. Even over the last 2 years where he's been below his best, he's been injured. I know last year only played 3 games, but he's averaged over 88 for those last 2 years as well. So, yeah, the only knock is his body. I'm still taking, like you said, start him. If he gets injured, it costs you 1 trade to get him out. If you don't start him and he starts well, then you're going to train him in, then train him out when he gets injured. I think everyone should be starting him if he's in round 1.
Yeah,
Are you the same?
I almost think you can plan for him getting an injury. And as soon as he gets an injury, he's going to, like, if he plays 3 games, he's risen in price. He should be up near that 400k with his scoring potential after just 3 games. So I think 4 or 5 games, you've made your 100k that you want, and he's a great stepping stone, providing great scoring. He's then can go straight to a premium. So as soon as he gets injured. So yeah, you're better off starting Darcy Parish for sure. So then he doesn't. If you don't start him and he goes really well, you then have to trade him in, and like we're saying, you pretty much have to plan for an injury with Darcy Parish. So you then have to trade him out at another point. So it's only going to cost you the one trade when you start him. So being at this price, I think it's an easy pick at 334K. Yeah, should almost be in everyone's side. But let's move into the premiums for Essendon. We'll start with the back line and we'll look at Archie Roberts. Looks like he's going to be the main ball distributor off halfback for Essendon moving forward. Put in a decent year last year. Would you look at Archie Roberts at all?
No, it's not for me. It's just too inflated of a price at 450K. You got Ridley back there who'll probably take some ball. I think Zach Reed's fit, who has been used a little bit off halfback. Then obviously we've got who we talked about before as well. The draftee in Farah. Yeah, so like there's a few guys that could take the ball off him. I think he's going to be their main guy who provides that bounce off halfback. But yeah, at that price, it's not for me.
Yeah, I'm the same here. It's had a bit of an up and down year last year. Like obviously playing that halfback role, you expect some a high floor, but yeah, he definitely put out some 40s and 50s every now and then. So it's probably an easy avoid on Archie Roberts. His teammate down back, however, who's also made of paper, is Jordan Ridley. Already had an injury setback in this preseason. Are you looking at Jordan Ridley at all? We know his scoring potential is enormous, but can he stay on the park long enough for your side?
I can't do it to myself. Yeah, the only way that I'd somewhat consider it if he plays all the preseason matches, dominates all of them, and then pick round one, maybe just because I love Ridley. But yeah, he gets injured every time he plays footy. So, and they're going to be conservative with him throughout the year. They'll rest him multiple times, you'd assume, if he plays the whole year. So best case scenario, he's probably going to miss 3 or 4 games. So yeah, I can't do it to myself.
He's currently in my side. And the reason for it is, yes, you don't want to start too many injury prone guys, but like it's sort of the same caveat for Darcy Parish. When he is playing a full game, his floor is like 85. You're getting minimum 85s regardless. And like we know his scoring is good. He can get the hundreds, 100 pluses pretty easily in that intercept defender role. But he played 3 games last year where he got injured in 3 different occasions. One was a 39, one was a 29, and another was a 28. So that's built into his price at the moment. So he is undervalued at 418K. But yeah, you've got to trust his body. The year before, he averaged 102 playing, I think it looks like 8 or 9 games. So yeah, he hasn't put in a full season for a while, but I'm currently picking him on the basis that he's only going to cost me 1 trade again.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'd love to be proven wrong with Ridley. I'm a big Ridley man, so I'm happy to sit back and wait. And like, again, one of those guys that come around 3, if he's put in 2 good performances for the first 2 rounds, maybe. But yeah, like you said, that could then cost you 2 trades. So yeah, it's just a wait and see for Ridley for mine. We'll jump into the midfield, Tyson. They're 4 big midfielders. Fiorini coming across from the Gold Coast is a big signing for them. And then we'll start with him. I know you're somewhat keen. It looks like he's playing wing, which I think sort of might scare us off a little bit. Any interest in Fiorini?
If he was playing midfield, there'd be a bit more interest there. We know he could just rack up the pill with ease, but yeah, at 515K, you've really got to have a locked in midfield role. So it's probably a good pass there. What about his teammate in Sam Durham? There's a bit of talk about him just taking his game to another level. Like having a look at Durham at all?
Nah, I think there's been that talk for a few years. He just hasn't really quite gone to that next level. So at 480K, it's a pass for mine. Jai Caldwell, Tice, any interest there? He's the face of the pod for a good period last year. Was a really good pickup at 545K. The numbers, he scores really well when he's playing consistent midfield minutes. Are you interested at all?
We picked him up at 450 to that 430k range last year. That's when it was great buying as a main midfielder, and he, got up to that 530k before he got injured again. Geez, Essendon just love injury-prone guys, but we know he can put the scores out on the park. He went on a run of 5 straight tons before, he got injured really. So I like it, but 545k is not good buying for Jai Caldwell. Especially a team that's probably not going to go too well this year. But the last guy that might have some more relevance is Zach Merritt. I know you are so hot on this guy. He was high in your rankings in the midfield. Are you starting him? He is 2.2% owned.
Yeah, every day, Tice, every day he creeps further and further closer to my side. Just yesterday, apparently he's signing a monster mega extension with Essendon after all that went through in October last year. So, look, I think I've said it in our predictions as well. I think he's a proud man. I think he'll want to come back and prove Essendon fans that he's still there to play and will still play his best footy. So, I'm still completely keen on Zach Merritt. I think he'll have a big year. You're not as keen?
Nah, I don't mind it. I just think with all the commotion that happened over the end of last year, yeah, he is a proud man, and yes, he's probably just going to punch out the scores we know from Zach Merritt. Like, he is SuperCoach. I'd put him in SuperCoach royalty of just consistent high scores and just constantly not picked or highly rated enough by super coaches. And he's always been a nice pod to start the year. Everyone sort of finishes their team with Merritt because they're like, oh, he's putting out the scores. We need to jump on this. And I don't think that's going to change too much. I just, now with the highlight of him in media, I want to see if that is going to affect him at all. If it doesn't, and he starts the year on fire, he's definitely one I'm going to target early for my side. But I'm not going to start him, I don't think.
Fair enough. The no buy also really excites me. Like, a lot of those early buy sides are good teams with good midfielders. He's one of those guys. Like, he's one you can trust, and he will just be consistent for you throughout all those early rounds when the buys can sort of throw you for a loop. So yeah, it's really enticing. Moving on though, Tice, in terms of the forward line, probably the only Supercoach relevant player in some capacity would be Nick Martin, and obviously he's gone for the year with that ACL, which I think he re-injured in the preseason, unfortunately. So he'll be gone for the year, and look, eyes to 2027. He'll be a nice discounted price for us all to start this time next year. So, unfortunately for Essendon fans and for Nick, he won't be featuring this year, but one to watch for next year. That sort of wraps up the players, Tice. In terms of their year itself, do you see any improvement from Essendon?
No, not too much. They're going to blood a lot of the rookies and try and forecast for maybe in 3 or 4 years, maybe having a finals tilt. And that's probably post Zach Merritt. Zach Merritt's probably the only one that's really keeping them from finishing bottom, I think. I think there's a bit of a drop-off coming from Essendon. So, yeah, they've got a tough run to start the year apart from North Melbourne in round 3, and I think they're going to lose that game as well. So I don't see them winning a game for a while. It's going to be a tough run for them. Yeah, my prediction's probably bottom 4 for them.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think potentially they could be a bit more... if they get their bodies right, they had a curse with injuries last year. If they can get their best team on the park a little bit more, they can be a little bit more consistent. But yeah, I don't see them challenging at all for that top 10. So unfortunately for Bombers fans, it'll be another year of hard watches, I can only imagine. But I think that sums it up, Tice. Another good team preview. As always, check out our socials for any more information. And as you stated at the top of the video, do have leagues open for all that you might be interested in. So feel free to check our socials, shoot us a message if you have any questions or want to get involved, and we're more than happy to help you out. But until next time, Tice, it's been great, and I'll see you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.